Dave. Well, the always a few little tech issues there, isn't it? But right, let's check if we're live.
Yeah, it's an internal server error was what happened.
You know what was this? The 83rd live that we've done, 83, and I've never seen that error before.
No, 83rd live, 81 tech issues, and this is a new one.
Wow.
Only
wow.
the first one.
Yeah, well, at least we're here. Yeah, if you joined us, do say hello. Do put a little comment in the boxes so we know who's on the live. Maybe give us a thumbs up, give us a big 10, give us a hello, just so we know who's on the live. We can see some regulars already. Shona, Laura, Dave, Andrew Spencer, Addy Holland, who was commented with Chris Bretherton. There's two people on the live there, maybe. I don't know.
Could be 80.
Could be. Oh, sorry, 80.
Yeah,
now,
remember,
if you haven't been on the live before, we're not very good at pronouncing names, right?
Yeah, and it's a pint for everyone we get wrong. But you've got to catch us at the bar for that. Wow, they're flooding in now. Hello, everyone. Hello. There's too many names for me to read out, so I'm just going to go Sebastian, Gary, Jim, Stuart, James, Ross, Scott. Yeah.
Paul. Yeah, Rachel. Rachel. Remember Rachel all the way from Hawaii, I think, right? Yeah, we got James. Brilliant. We got heaps of people. They're back to front. This is going to confuse me. Oh, really? Okay. Well, hopefully you can see us, and just put a comment, guys, if you can hear us, if you can see us, that we're all good, that we're coming through loud and clear. Just before we go into the main live, if you can just put a comment just to make sure that we can hear us, that would be awesome.
80 Holland has come by and said there's a pint, so it's all that. So there we are, nice right off the bat.
Brilliant. Well, look, Dave, I know it was a weird week last week because we weren't on a Tuesday tune-in for the first time in 82 Tuesdays. I mean, mate, it felt weird, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I just took some time off, man, and you took some time off, and it's got to happen once, one Tuesday off in 82 is, that's fair, right? That's fair, guys. We can all agree on that. But, yeah, I'll be honest. It was weird. It was 12 o'clock or half 12 on a Tuesday. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, no, it's fine.
It was a disturbance in the force, Dave. That's where it was. Because
yeah, exactly.
It felt weird for me as well. I think because it was my birthday last Tuesday, so we went for some breakfast with Jen, and also went for a massage, which kind of didn't happen. But anyway, but it got to that time, and I was like, wow, this is weird, man. Half 12. I mean, it felt so strange not to be with our Evertrekkers. But hey, we're back this week. Yeah. And it's a good one as well because everything. Which is with everything going on and everything happening in the world, and we do have customers over in Nepal at the moment, which is amazing.
Well, actually, that means
strange.
This is a first. We like to do our firsts, and this is a first live that we've ever done whilst we have customers out there in Nepal, because we started
crazy.
We started it in March 2020, and I think you might recall something happened in March 2020. Yeah, there was something happened anyway. We couldn't send anyone that season, so we thought we'll do this instead. And then we've carried on doing this, and we've come full circle. And that is crazy that we're actually closer to 2022 now than we are that first live.
It's crazy, mate. It's really crazy. But look, really appreciate everyone kind of sticking with us over the last 20 months.
So I just saw it coming from Joel. I was shocked, just staring at a white wall for an hour was hard.
Brilliant. Nice one, Joel. I love Joel. He always brings a bit of comedy to the live. I love it, mate. Well done. Yeah. Paul Walker, who's just joined us as well, makes a good point. Have I won yet? Because today, obviously, we're talking about Nepal. And the reason we're talking about Nepal is that we've had a lovely competition, which has been amazing. Loads of buzz around the competition, loads of energy. Obviously, we know things are opening back up, so we can see why people have been a bit more obviously involved. We've ran competitions over the years, and this one we wanted to promote Nepal in a way because Evertrek started running trips to Everest Base Camp. That was our kind of Big Mac, if you like. That's how we started. That's what we did. That's where the name come from. And obviously over time then we've kind of branched out for our Evertrekkers who wanted to go elsewhere. But Nepal is where it all started. It's where our roots are, and we want to get people back to Nepal. Obviously people are there at the moment, not many. We've probably got less than a dozen people out there, which is a sign of the times. But we know next year is going to be absolutely super busy, and it is for us. Like next season is like 400 or 500 people going out in Nepal. So yeah, it's which is in the spring, so it's going to be a busy one. But we want to get people back out there and supporting the country we love and the people we love, and that's why we run these competitions, because we hope that it gives people a chance, or two people a chance actually, to get out there and have an awesome time. And obviously, I know if you've been around us for any length of time, we do like to share some runner-up prizes, things like that. So if you don't win, there is something out there for you that we will certainly share. But right, Dave, let's chat about Nepal then, because obviously we'll come back. We're going to chat about Nepal. We had heaps of questions come through, so we'll answer those.
Yep.
I feel like it's only right to answer those. We'll chat a little bit about the trip, and then we'll do the winner announcement as well as tackle the questions. Should we do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for anyone that's new to this, you've got to. We do the Tuesday tune-in, and you've got to wait for the announcement. Unfortunately, we have to wait for 2 weeks whilst we gather the entries. So you guys can wait a little bit. But no, you're right, Nepal. It's amazing. You say we've got about 12 people out there. To be honest, Dan, that means we've increased our customers 12-fold from this time last year. So I'll personally take that. But yeah, Nepal is. It's always held a little like a special place in our heart, I think, because it certainly changed my life around completely. Probably an extreme change, but when I first ever went to Everest Base Camp, I was a financial contractor working for a payday loan company dealing with their complaints.
Wow,
that's where I was. How
times have changed, Dave.
Exactly, and then I went out to Nepal. I loved trekking to Everest Base Camp, but even more than that, I think the country really got under my skin and in my soul. And when I came back, I realized that I couldn't just have that. It couldn't be one and done. I had to make it part of my life. So I think within 6 months I quit my job, and now several years later I'm doing a live talking about it. So,
times have changed, Dave.
I know.
And for all the kind of Evertrekker newbies or people who have been part of the community, maybe for not as long as others, Dave was actually Evertrek's first ever customer, weren't you, Dave?
Customer zero, yeah. Customer zero. Yeah, the one that started it all.
Now, huge part of the company, obviously head of ops and amongst other things. And it's quite interesting. Well, because you do so much. So
but it did change my life. I mean, the story's one that I'll never get bored and never get tired of saying, because I might tell it to 100 people and 100 people might ignore it, but then 101 they might actually do something similar to what I've done. And because there was nothing remarkable about what I did, I wanted to go to Everest Base Camp. I always had a dream to summit Everest and be an adventurer, but I wasn't. I was a fat banker. I did say banker. And then one day, a guy that I used to work with just posted on Facebook that he was at Everest Base Camp, but that person happened to be you. And we've still got it on one of our emails. We've actually went back in time and we found the message. It wasn't even I left it on his wall, and I just said, awesome, mate, well done. When you come back, let's have a chat. I'd love to go. And we met in a cafe in Cardiff, and the first ever Evertrek kit list was born on the back of a receipt that we've still got framed in the office.
It's there.
Yeah, and I just, on a whim, I decided, like, my friend did it. He wants to start this company because he had such a passionate reaction from going to Nepal. I didn't realize at that time what I was getting into. I go to Nepal just because I want to trek to Everest Base Camp, and I come back and I just feel like, I know what he meant. I have to be a part of this, and then, it completely turned my life around. It was, and the people I know, the places I've been, the things I've seen, I think about it all the time. There's probably not a day that goes by that I don't actually think about how that changed my psychology and my body and my health and my mindset. It's been difficult not going there these last couple of years, but it's that time is at an end, and that's what makes today's announcement so exciting, I think.
Exactly. Inspiring, mate. I think Jan, who I'm going to bring up there, says inspiring, Dave, and I totally agree. Very inspiring. And
thanks, Jan.
I think as Jack would put it, which I'm just going to bring out, what a dream. I can't actually see the full question, which is a bit weird, but I'll read it out anyway. What a dream getting to explore these places would be. 100%, Jack, 100%. It's like, the end of the day, when travel's opening now, isn't it? And I know, obviously not everywhere, but most places, which is awesome. And, hopefully it kind of stays that way, right? Because we want to get back to, people who are into travel, and travel means a lot to them.
Yeah.
You know, and we want to travel responsibly. We obviously promote that. But you know, people that want to get to these awesome places like Everest Base Camp, like Kilimanjaro, yeah, we want to make that happen for you now. Now things are open. But right, yeah, Dave, I know we set the scene now. Let's talk about Nepal then. So, an Everest Base Camp, shall we?
Yeah.
I mean, with Everest, the kind of package that we with the competition, you know, it's 15 days, but you're only trekking for 11/12 of them because you kind of fly back to Kathmandu. But Dave, out of that trip, what would be the kind of, I don't know, the kind of personal highlights for you if you were, you know, telling people now haven't been out there before? What would
Okay.
be like the top 3 kind of moments for you on that trip?
So I'm gonna not choose get into Everest Base Camp, right? Because
Okay.
that's obvious. Because that's all anyone would ever say. But however, there are a few moments on the way that kind of make it. Like, it's all about the journey, is what we always say, and it is. And there's a couple of moments that I go back to, and usually I remember them from my first ever trip because that's when it was like it blew my hair back.
Yeah.
Probably, I think when we get to Dingboche, which is pretty close to Everest Base Camp, pretty high in altitude,
Yeah.
and you do an acclimatization hike up this neighboring peak. And you can get to the top and it offers an amazing view. But actually, before I even got to the top, I was just hiking up and had a little time on my own. The group spread out, and I just sat down and I turned around and I was like, oh my God, like Amadablam was just right there. The sky was like glass.
Yeah.
You know, it was just one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Because I hadn't turned around for about an hour. You know, I was like nose to the grindstone, like just plodding up this hill, and I finally just sat there, turned around. I had a little bit, half an hour on my own, just waiting for the rest of the group to come up, and I just sat there, just me and Amada Blam, having a conversation through our thoughts, you know, and it was
Brilliant.
it was amazing. Yeah, it was crazy. I very rarely get all kind of like you know, misty-eyed about my trips and stuff, but it's nice to do these lives and actually remember what impact it had. And yeah, there's a picture of me. I might post it on my Instagram or on the Facebook page or something, because you can see it. And I've just got my legs crossed above the clouds, me and Amada Blam, no one else around me. And there's lots of little moments like that along the trip, but that one is the one that I always remember. You know, always in the back of my head.
Hey, Steve's on here and he's like, Amada Blam is the best mountain in the world, 100%.
Yeah,
Stevie B, 100%. Yeah.
What I love about it, we kind of circle around it on the trail, and you get to see its different faces. You know, so but Amada Blam's like your travel companion for most of the way to EBC. And so I'm going to throw it back at you. You've done EBC many times. Surely it's getting boring now, right?
No.
And what was your?
I really missed it.
Oh mate, I would go back tomorrow. But what's your what's the highlight then? What's the what was the? You can only pick one memory to have. What's it going to be?
Ooh, it's tough. That is tough, mate. That is tough. I'd usually go with 3, but okay, I'll give you one. I think, you know, I still think the first time I saw Everest, which, you know, I'd read about in books, you know, I'd seen on TV, you know, before going, you know, you're reading your Lonely Planet guide, or, you know, you just see it from afar, really, on posters and stuff. That's not Everest in the background, by the way. That's Lhotse. Lhotse just behind me, which is next to Everest, actually, the 4th highest mountain in the world. But yeah, I think the first time I saw Everest, so on day 2 of the actual trek, so got a couple of days in Kathmandu, then you go to Lukla, so you land in Lukla, and then you hike to a little village called Bakding, only for a few hours. Then the next day is a big day. First time really you get to feel the altitude because you're going above 3,000 meters. And just as you cross Sir Edmund Hillary Bridge, which is about over 100 meters high, amazing bridge, you might have seen some pictures of it. And then probably about half hour later, because it's a bit of a slog getting up to Namche. Namche is where we spend a couple of days to acclimatize. And I think on the way up there, you've got a little stop, which you're happy to stop, by the way, because, you know, slow and steady on these trips. And then through a gap in the trees, you've got Everest. And that was my first time I could see Everest. And it's weird, yeah. And Dave, you know me, I'm quite an emotional guy at certain times.
I know what happened.
So obviously, you know, some tears came out, and yeah, it's like, you know, super happy moment. So I think, yeah, definitely that the first time you see Everest is has to go down as one of the best.
Yeah,
one of the best. I mean, of countless moments. I mean, Dave, we always talk, and I think we both shared this because I've been with you to Everest Base Camp a couple of times over the years, is around the people you go with, the people you meet, the friends you make, even with the guides, because you become good mates with the guides, even the assistant guides, the porters.
Yeah.
I think those are the moments that will stay with me till I die. 100%.
You sneaked in a second one there, Rand, but we'll allow it.
I know.
Because it was such a nice. I have to. Yeah, we'll do it. But you are right, actually. That first glimpse of Everest, it's almost framed by nature through this gap in the trees. It blew my.
It's like they put it there, you know.
I couldn't stop thinking about it when I first saw it. I was just looking at it for ages, thinking like that's the highest point on Earth. It was like when you contemplate space; it just doesn't compute. I was like. It's almost like I'm within arm's reach of the highest point on Earth. You know, it's fascinating.
It's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy.
It never gets old. Every time I go to base camp, and it's fairly regular, but I always have this excitement, like I can't wait to see Everest. I can't wait to see Everest. And then sometimes on that way up to Namche, there's a bit of mist. Like I remember my guide once, she's shy today. She's pulled the blanket over her, and I was like, no, I have to wait till tomorrow. And then but as soon as you see it, it's like. There she is. I'm back. I'm back.
It's truly amazing, and just going through because Lauren is gathering all of our questions, and we've had heaps on emails, so this is great. We've got a little WhatsApp group because some people are working from home at the moment, and we've got a few questions that have come in, so we'll definitely delve into those. Just a reminder as well, guys. Any questions around the trips, around Everest Base Camp altitude, fitness, because we know fitness is a big one, especially around altitude. You haven't been at altitude before, what is it like? How do you manage it? Any of those things that you think are on your mind, just drop them in because that's what we're here to do today as well, is to chat about that and make you feel comfortable with that. Whilst we're on here though, it's great. It's so good to see some sort of previous Evertrekkers. Michael Gillies, I remember Mike seeing you on the way down from Tengboche. I remember you were on the way up, I was on the way down, but mate, I hope all is well. Obviously Ramona, need I say more? Love you. Shona, Shona's been a big part of our community, just as knowledgeable as us. She's amazing. Did a really good blog. If you search in the high altitude Evertrekkers around food intolerances, she's got a really good blog around that. Her experience being on the trip with not allergies. Sorry, Shona, I'm trying to remember exact blog, but I think it was really good around food. How she dealt with it, and if you just search that in the group, you'll be able to see it.
It's good.
Really good article.
Yeah, it's good having Shona because she picks up the questions that we kind of like can't get to them. Like there's so many.
Right.
And, it does make me feel a bit awkward though because I got to up my game sometimes.
Well, you've been rusty, Dave. You haven't been at base camp for a couple of years because obviously for obvious reasons, but
I know, it's amazing. But no, there's so many. I mean, there's so many new people as well. But just want to remind everyone, this is every Tuesday as well. So come back and watch us next Tuesday as well. We do this all the time. We talk about Everest, Kili, and then we sometimes will have a whole live just on the type of gloves you can wear. Weirdly, they tend to be the most popular because they always spring off into some strange conversations. But what do you reckon, Ange? Should we dive head first into some cues so we can get them out?
Yeah, let's do that, Dave. I know we've obviously introed and we've talked a little bit about Nepal, but so Lauren's Dave, which one would you like to tackle first? I know we've probably got about 12 that are coming on email, but which one?
Yeah, so there's quite a big one here. Questions, Davis. I know he likes this. Okay, right. I think Lauren's actually so by the way, I will kind of peel off and read these really quick. So this is from Danny Cheese. How's it going, mate? Basically, he enjoyed the live on insurance. That was not last week, the week before. It's a really good one. We had a guy from True Traveller on that basically gave us a behind-the-scenes sort of expose on the world of insurance, how to best use it, what you need, and all stuff like that. The question, though, from Danny today is, when traveling outside of Europe, most mobile plans don't allow you to use data, phones, etc. This means that your phone and comms to the outside world will be expensive once you're on the trek itself away from free Wi-Fi. How does someone deal with that? Do you get a local SIM and stuff like that? So here's what I do, Danny. So I don't bother getting a local SIM. The reason I don't is because it's kind of a task to go and do it every time. You have to hand over your passport. It's like taking out a contract pretty much every time you go there. I only communicate through Wi-Fi when I'm on the trip. So when you're in the hotels, pretty much every single bar and restaurant in Kathmandu will offer free Wi-Fi. And you can have data plans as well, like roaming to get you by. When you're on the trek itself, up to Tengboche, you will have routers in every tea house, and you can buy data to use them. My advice to you, though, is when you get to Namche, there is a telecommunications shop in Namche where you can go in and you can buy a scratch card. The scratch card, you scratch it, it gives you a password. The password allows you to hook up to Everest Link, which is a shared network in all of the tea houses above Namche. So from that moment on, you only need one scratch card. It'll last you the whole time. And I've actually managed to make calls through WhatsApp using the data. I've sent pictures, text messages, all stuff like that, all the way to base camp and back down again. And I find that that's more than enough communication for me. Alternatively, like I said, spend the dollars and use the roaming, but that will get expensive. I accidentally came back with a £400 bill one time. So
I remember that. Hey, what about Kili? Because I know Danny's going to Kili.
Oh, Kili, right. So great news on Kili. The first 4 days, nothing. Like you will get no signal anywhere. The last 4 days, loads of signal. So basically, take loads of pictures, tell everyone that you'll be in contact with them on day 5. So yeah, once you start Kili, it's an 8-day trek. The first 4 days you won't have any signal because of where you are on the mountain, and then you'll come back around to the more populated routes, and then you'll get signal and stuff like that. So another top tip: go into your carrier settings and change it from 4G to like 2G, and you'll pick up a network then that enables you to send texts and make calls and stuff like that. So there you go. That's my communicating on trips.
Nice, Dave. It's a good one because I think especially on I know we mentioned Nepal there. It's really good with regards to getting in touch. You got the option. I know previously me and Dave, we talk about ways to escape, the digital, have your digital detox. But I know there's some people, and this is where all opinions is cool. There's room enough for everyone's opinion, and some people go out there and they like to keep in touch, don't they? So that which is cool, and the option is there. Obviously, Kili, and I think Danny asked a good question there. How does everyone deal with that issue? And I think it's really comes down to the individual. We're all kind of adults. We're all in our kind of space and what we're comfortable with. And I think, certainly get comfortable with the fact that you might not be able to get in touch with your loved ones while you're on Kili. On Everest Base Camp, it's a bit different. It might have a day depending on weather, because sometimes weather can change everything. So do get comfortable with that, but obviously do be rest assured that the guides, everyone like that, has got contact with us because of signal and things like that. Via their local SIM and everything like that, if they want it all the time. As Dave said there, it is a bit of a effort to get your own SIM. It can be done. I mean, obviously you can get a local SIM, local phone. It's a lot easier. But I think, if you can go like 3 or 4 days, especially on Kili, Danny, I think that's probably the best option, mate. But there is an option there if you do want to get signal, obviously through getting a local SIM.
I mean, also one thing to add: the guides are always able to get in contact with anyone. If you do have a family member that would perhaps be anxious if they hadn't heard from you from a few days or anything like that back home, you can tell them that no news is good news. Because as soon as something, if we had to get a message back to the family, it would happen like that. The guides would message us, and then we would let them know. So no news is good news. So tell them not to worry.
I just I see Ramona. I took a conference call from a client on the EBC day. Ramona, that is, you need to stop working, mate.
Yeah,
but well done.
Yeah, you've got to draw the line somewhere. I'd have sacked that off straight away. But,
That's brilliant. Some good questions though. Yeah, another juicy one. This is from Gabrielle, I think from Romania. Greetings, Andy Moore. My question's related to the technical aspects. So I think I'm just going to read this and try and squeeze it down a bit. So what you're asking around, obviously technical equipment. So just to clarify around Everest Base Camp. So go into Everest Base Camp, the classic route that we do. You don't need any technical equipment like ice axe, crampons. You don't need those kind of things. It's more of weather technical equipment. So you've got down jackets. You've got like maybe insulated layers. You've got a waterproof. You've got decent gloves, decent hat. Look after the core. You've also got your decent trekking boots as well. So certainly if the conditions get worse, then it's good to take warm gear. We do have technical lists around the equipment rather than the climate equipment, if you like. That you can download if you like. Lauren, I think obviously he was on here and has put Shona's blog, by the way, in the comments, guys, if you want to look that out. It's really good. Definitely check it out. But yeah, with regards to the equipment, if we could put the equipment list in there, that would be lovely.
Awesome.
Yeah, so always a good one. But I suppose, yeah, just Gabrielle, just to kind of finish that off, I suppose, with regards to technical aspects of the trip. I think you're talking about climbing. It's not like that on that trip. There are trips where that does happen. You know, Island Peak, Mera Peak in Nepal. If you want to do that, which we do run those trips. We've got someone on Island Peak at the moment. And obviously we've got the other trips like Mount Toubkal in winter. You know, we've got Aconcagua where we would do in South America, Patagonia ice fields. These are other trips that we do that maybe require some slightly more technical equipment.
Yeah.
But that answers your question.
Awesome. Angela Shepherd has asked a cool one. Yep. If this is like desert island treks, if you were to take one small luxury item on your trip, what would it be? That's interesting. So yeah, a luxury item. So if we're going by the desert island discs rule, and this can't be a practical item or anything like that, so it can't be a knife or something that could get you out of trouble or have like a practical use. So I'm wondering if podcasts count. I mean, it's not a physical item, but I always download lots of podcasts. Yeah, I'm gonna go with downloaded podcasts if that's not too if that's allowed. Because yeah, you have a lot of free time, you know, in the evenings and sleeping and stuff like that. And if the neighbor is snoring, sometimes it's nice to put some headphones in and just listen to some relaxing or interesting topics and stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm gonna go with downloaded podcasts. And
downloaded podcasts. I'm gonna pick some food because I think there's one thing I've learned when you're on a trek is that sometimes, you know, it's not all plain sailing. There are times maybe you're not feeling well, maybe the altitude's getting to you a little bit, you know, maybe you lose on your appetite, maybe you just have a bit of a headache, you know, these are things your body's adjusting to the altitude. And I think sometimes it's good to have a pick-me-up. Yep. So I rarely eat chocolate in the UK, but I do take some with me. So like a Snickers bar, or I'll buy a Snickers bar when I'm sort of lower down, or some sweets or something that'll actually perk me up. Like, and I quite enjoy a good Snickers bar or a nice Coke Zero. Because I don't know why, but in Asia and I think Nepal, there's not many places. I don't drink full fat Coke, but I do drink some diet or Coke Zero sometimes, and sometimes it's a bit of a, you know, it just even if I know there's not much goodness in these things, but if all it does is help my mind, I'm cool with that. So sometimes, yeah, I think if you, in terms of luxury items, take something out with you. So I suppose I'm kind of answering it and giving a little bit of advice here. I take some chocolate or something that I really like. And that's what I'd recommend. Take one thing with you that'll perk you up. That you think if you're having a bad day, you can eat this, or as Dave said, or you can listen to something, or even if you've got a picture of maybe the reason why you're going up there. Maybe it could be a charity. Maybe you're doing it for a loved one. Maybe you're doing it just to prove to yourself. Whatever it is, take that with you because it'll come in so handy, and it could be the difference. Should we get them there or not?
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we got so many to kind of get through.
I know it's good.
What is the best time to go there in the likes of their summer? So really, you don't kind of go in the summer because it's you go around the monsoon season. So it's March, April, May, which is the first season, which is the spring, and then in the autumn we do September, October, November. The big difference between those two really is that in March, April, and May, that's when the mountaineers are out there summiting Everest and Lhotse and other 8,000 meter mountains. So you get to see base camp populated. You get to rub shoulders with the climbers, the Sherpas, the porters that are all going for expeditions. So it's quite interesting. And the flowers are in bloom because it's their springtime and it's very nice. In the autumn, it's a little bit colder, but the weather's like really good. It's really crystal clear. And it's a little bit quieter. So because base camp is just that, it's a natural glacier, no one's there climbing, and there's less people on the trails. So yeah, both times are equally as good. Honestly, I've been both times of year, and I can't say that I really enjoyed one over the other. I've been more times in the autumn than I have in the spring, so maybe that's your answer. I think like late autumn's probably the best. Best weather I've ever had on base camp was I arrived at base camp on October 31st. And
Halloween.
Exactly. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold, but I only realized in retrospect because you kind of lose track of the dates when you're out there. But October 31st, that was with my dad, and I was at base camp for like 3 hours, You know, it was amazing.
Brilliant. Good answers though, Dave. And you're right. There's so many. The two trekking seasons. It's hard to pick. I'm like, okay, do I prefer that one or that one? I'd say personally, I quite like it November, and it doesn't mean I dislike the others. Like honestly, I've been in April, September, October. So April into May, October, and September and November twice. And I don't know why November. Maybe because it's time of year. There's always some cool festivals on. It's also my birthday, but also I'm quite interested in astrophotography. And when I was out there in November 2018 with Steve actually, who was on the live, we saw that obviously the night sky was amazing. You could pretty much see the Milky Way with the naked eye. Obviously with the camera, then you can really get some good pictures. So I don't know why I kind of love November. If I was going to choose a time, I also prefer it colder than say September. Some people prefer it the other way. I've been in January during winter, which was bloody cold, like minus 25, plus wind. So you can imagine it's you could feel it in your kidneys, I think is probably how I describe it, even with a really good equipment on. And that is a great time, but the weather's not good. But very quiet. But we only run trips during those trekking seasons, like Dave said there.
Wicked. I'm going to answer Philip Wood's questions really quick.
Yeah.
Do I need to grow a beard? Yes, you should already have something there, Philip. And is that Diet Coke? It is. Yeah. Am I allowed to do product placement? Other brands are available. Yeah. Other brands are available.
I'll do product placement.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There's our filter bottles. Sorry, where were we, Dave? I know you. Yeah, do you need to grow a beard? Obviously, I mean, it is optional. We find that people get inspired and like to grow a beard. That's fine.
Bit of winter thatch is okay. It looks cool when it comes all ice and stuff like that. So sometimes you get small nesting rodents. It's good fun.
Yeah. Fiona Chapman has a good one. I mean, and I know we've touched on this. So how fit do you need to be to do this trek? How much preparation does it take? Say miles. How many miles walking per day in the months before your trip? So yeah, I mean, we could go into depth about this one. We've done specific lives just on this particular subject. So I think, Fiona, I'm gonna definitely, Lauren, if you can put a link to one of the previous lives that's about fitness, I think Fiona would like that. I mean, just to kind of break it down simply, I think in terms of fitness and altitude, altitude is a real leveler. It doesn't matter how fit you are. We've had people who have turned up and not done any training and reached Everest Base Camp and reached Summit Achilles. We've had people who've done heaps of training, triathletes, that have got to Everest Base Camp. I think the one thing that we know, and is something, because we professional travel company, we want you guys to have a better time. So we always suggest doing training. Is the more training you do, the more enjoyable your trip will become. Yeah. You can still get there, but just makes it far more enjoyable experience. And even if you're out with a pack on your back, just doing a couple of hours on a weekend. I mean, what I would say is that if you can just walk, because it's only walking. You're not doing any technical climbing on Everest Base Camp. There's no climbing involved. It's all walking. So you're trekking up to Everest Base Camp, and you think about that in the UK is that you're just walking. So get out there, even if it's an hour a day. Maybe you can build that in. Obviously, I appreciate with life and things. But if on a weekend, maybe you can do like a 4 to 6 hour hike. Maybe you could do that a couple of times a month and then build that in. I'd say then the last 2 weeks before you go on a trip, taper that off. You could do some running, you could do some swimming, anything that helps cardiovascular. But don't think that that's going to be, you have to beast yourself. You don't. Like we've seen people, I think the first time I went to Everest Base Camp, I certainly wasn't fit, but I battled on and it was hard. I think that's why we've designed these training plans. We've said, like, do this, and then you'll have a better time. And the thing is, you just won't be so tired. You'll have more time to walk around the villages, and you won't be like, I just want to lay down. You'll actually want to get up and go to a coffee and go and maybe go for a walk and see the villages and meet the Sherpa people. And Dave, I mean, is there anything you'd add to that?
No, I like that answer. I think I think do as much training as you physically can. Don't injure yourself in the process, but equally don't roll off the sofa, because you want to enjoy it and retain as much memories as you can that beyond, man, that was tough. I think the fittest I ever did it, I was the opposite, because I learned from the advice that Andy gave me. So as soon as I decided to go, I trained like I was going into space. And I really wish I was that fit every time I went, because it just allowed me just to sort of soak it up. I saw just comment from Saren. She can't grow a beard, but she can stop shaving her legs. Do that, Saren. It's like having your own little. It's like having your own inbuilt merino wool leggings on 24/7. So
brilliant.
It'll really help. So yeah, Andy Horn has asked a question. What's the vaccination situation in Nepal?
Okay. Yeah.
So that could be taken two ways. That could be taken. We're talking about COVID, or we're talking about what vaccinations do you need to go there. If it's COVID, they're actually doing quite well. They vaccinated the Khumbu area, so they're all vaccinated. All the guides and people, like, they've really done a big push on people who are involved in tourism and trekking, and really focused in on those areas to keep everyone involved safe. So yeah, in terms of COVID vaccinations, all well. In terms of the vaccinations that you'll need, if you scroll up in these comments, I believe Lauren posted an article about it. Where she's about which ones you need. So best thing to do is have a look at that article, because I can't remember, but it's pretty much just your standard ones, like I think like typhoid, polio, tetanus, that type of thing. Rabies is an option. It is in the country, but it's highly unlikely that you'll encounter it, but it's an option. Me, I'm a pincushion. So every time I go there, they're like, rabies. I'm like, yep, stick it in. And then, so I pretty much had everything. But have a look at those. Hope that answers your question, Andy.
Yeah, sure. Declan has asked, what beer do you like? I'll bring some. Declan, there's no need to bring some. Nepal do amazing beers. Everest beer, obviously, Everest is probably one of the best. You got Gurkha beer, which they call Gorkha, is how it's pronounced in Nepal. You've also got lots of craft beers. So, mate, don't bring any beer. But, if you're buying, mine's a Guinness.
Yep.
Thanks.
Awesome. What would I like? I struggle with beer, didn't I? Just to make Fee happy, I think I'll have a tonic and gin. She doesn't like it when it's said like that.
Proud of you, Dave. That's very sophisticated, mate. Well done.
Yeah, and of course, I know Fee's off today, but she'll be listening, right? Fee? No. Okay.
She's in the ether somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So have a look. Kevin Miller, what's the hardest part of trekking to Everest Base Camp? Deciding to go. Beyond that, I would say, I know what you mean. Yeah. Which day is it the hardest? It varies depending on the individual. My own personal experience. Yeah. I thought that going up to Namche was probably the hardest on day 2, because you don't really have much of a warm up to it. Like day 1 is really easy. It's mostly downhill. Day 2, then straight into it, right in the deep end, is like a 7 to 8 hour day. Pretty much it's all uphill. So it can be quite tough. I think after that point, as you get into the altitude, you're acclimatizing and you're in the swing of it. So from that point on, there are really tough days, but I think that's probably one of the toughest, in my opinion. Everyone has memories of Namche Hill, going up that,
That is tough. I think it's because of the surprise of the altitude. It's the first time that you're actually like, I got to slow down now.
Yeah.
Because breathing's the same. I mean, I'm an asthmatic. I have been all my life. And one of the things that I thought would be difficult was obviously the breathing. But you breathe the same, you just breathe more often. And this is anyone now. And again, we talk about leveler. It's that your heart rate goes up because your body's adjusting. And in terms of Namche Hill, your heart rate will certainly go up.
Yeah.
Good. Right, Dave. I think we'll do like a 10-minute. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of a little feather that's hanging around, not just waving to everyone. Is that we'll do a quick 10 minutes here, because I want to obviously do the winner announcement as well. I know we've got about sort of 15-20 minutes left, so we'll do a quick fire if you like.
Okay.
If we can.
Okay. So do you want a quick fire? I'll do 5 at you. You do 5 at me. Is that how we want to do it?
Go for it, Dave. Let's do it.
Some of these are pretty big. Okay, so we've answered the fitness-wise ones.
Yeah.
We've done the hardest part of trekking to base camp. Let's have a quick look. Okay, and fill some time.
I'm going to take this one on, if that's okay.
Okay, go. Quick fire yourself.
Someone said, because this is David, mentions about Duke of Edinburgh 20 years ago. We feel old saying that. What would I need to do fitness-wise? Yeah, okay. And then able to advise me on what equipment. So, I would rewind 2 minutes ago, listen to the when we talked about fitness. Equipment-wise, definitely download the guide. And Dave, yeah, obviously, if you're into trekking, you're into hiking, you've done Duke of Edinburgh, you've probably got most of the stuff. You know, because like I said, you're only walking. Okay, there might need a step up in terms of maybe something that'll keep you warm. But I download the guides and definitely have a little look. Obviously, drop us a question or give us a call if you want to in depth. But obviously, if you booked with us and you want to go with us, or if you win, we'll obviously help you make sure you got all the equipment you need.
Okay, awesome. Andy, what boots would you recommend?
Maindel Boutans.
Okay. Have you been on a trek and got freaked out by a ledge or a crossing? She loves, this is from Joel, loves pushing himself out of his comfort zone.
No, I haven't, but there's a couple of times. I mean, on Nepal, you walk alongside the, what's the name of the Milky River? What do you call it?
Dude
Kosi. Dude Kosi. How can I forget that? Wow. People are saying bingo, brilliant. The Dude Kosi River, which is Milky River. They've built some paths that are quite steep on the one side. But I'm not necessarily uncomfortable with heights. I know people who have, and fair dues, like a good friend of mine, Max, who came on base camp. I know previous customers who were struggling with the bridges, but they did it, and afterwards they felt amazing. And anything like that might make you feel outside of your comfort zone, expands your comfort zone, because then you know what you can achieve.
Kim Bevan, best hills maintenance to climb in South Wales to help fitness that are easy to navigate.
Cool. Penavan, nice and easy. I mean, you don't have to climb hills to do training. You can just get out and hike anywhere, walk out your door. I think from lockdown, clearly, you can just walk out your door and just walk until you're tired. But I think, if you can get to Brecon Beacons, you've got the Penavan Horseshoe Ridge. You can do that. Maybe try and do 2 different versions of that. Maybe do clockwise and anti-clockwise 2 days in a row. You can do that. You can do base camp.
Yep. Okay, fine one. Jack Making, how do you deal with the nerves before a trip? Hiking at altitude sounds incredible, but also if you've never experienced it, I imagine it could be quite a scary prospect.
Yeah, I think nerves are part of it. You will feel nervous. Get comfortable with it. You will, I also think sometimes we can re-say that and say, are they nerves or is it excitement? Probably both. But if you say, I'm excited, and you go into it knowing that, there's parts of it that will be outside your comfort zone, as I said, that'll expand. But I think naturally this is adventure travel. It's you're purposely putting yourself out there into a dangerous environment. It is dangerous, mountains. That I think if you get comfortable with that, but obviously it's managed danger. There's a difference between unmanaged and managed, and this is certainly managed danger. Obviously things happen in the world. They can happen outside your front door. But if you go on a trek with us, you'll certainly it'll certainly change you. I know that for a fact. Changed loads of people. Literally hundreds were ever trekkers, and some people I speak to, and they're like, it did this, I can't believe it. Now what else can I do? There's so much you can do. So get out there and do it. Don't worry about those nerves. Don't worry, everyone has them.
Awesome. Right, and hit me.
Wow, I don't know the first one that came up, but are there any scams that we should be aware of?
No, not really, because the scams start to happen when you book with a non-reputable company, usually one of the local ones that are run. We don't do that. We have very good relationships. What I highly recommend you do is go back, not last week, but the week before, and listen to the insurance episode that we did where we had True Traveller on, explaining everything. We talked a lot about that type of thing, so that'll put your mind at ease.
Great stuff. If I don't win, can I come anyway and help carry the sandwiches from Phil Wood?
Well, I hope you can carry a lot, mate. Because I usually have to employ the strongest porter I can find to carry my sandwiches.
Jade Chapman, if my trek partner is the worst snorer, can I swap rooms?
Well, you might be. Well, I suppose you'd find it hard to convince someone else to swap with you. But on a serious note, headphones or earplugs, because even if your trekking partner doesn't snore, the walls are very thin in the tea houses. I often say so thin you can hear each other's thoughts through them. So yeah, unfortunately, you might find it hard to.
Great stuff. Paul Meacher, any training Brecon in January, February? I suppose it's not in Brecon, is it, Dave? I know we got a winter skills live, right? Up in
how's it going, Paul? Hope you're doing well, my friend. So we're not in Brecon yet because we're looking on scheduling those in at some point. But we do have one up in Snowdonia, which is like the winter skills. So it's going to be really beneficial for those people that want to learn crampons, ice axe, self-arresting techniques, stuff like that. If you're interested in doing Island Peak, Mera Peak, or to be honest, any type of Scottish mountaineering or anything that requires any technical equipment, that's the course you want to be on. Really good, really good.
Great stuff. Yeah, can you bring a small drone with you on the Everest Base Camp Trek?
No, unfortunately, they're banned. That you're not allowed to bring a drone. If you try to, you'll get fined and sort of booted out the area. Basically, it's very dangerous to have a drone because helicopters in the Everest region and pretty much all over the trekking regions of Nepal, they're like taxis. They're coming back and forth on their own schedule. You don't know when they're coming, and it poses a great risk to the helicopters, the pilots, and the people inside, and people on the ground. And so no drones, I'm afraid.
Great stuff. I'm going to fire this one at you because I think Laura, who's just booked on to Everest Base Camp for October next year, what's the food like in Nepal? She is gluten and dairy intolerant, so worried about not having many options.
Really good. We've had a lot of people out there who have had all types of different dietary requirements. To be honest, the national dish of Nepal is pretty much dal bhat. It's great because it kind of suits everybody. You'll see t-shirts out there that say dal bhat power 24-hour. Basically, it's just some vegetables, some rice, and a lentil dal. And it's usually really good for anyone who has any dietary issues. They do have quite a varied menu. The most important thing I would say is that let your guide know. Don't be afraid to remind them every meal, just to double check there's no gluten in this, that type of thing. But also, where's my Shona horn? Shona, so she's always really, really helpful in this type of situation because she's gone out there with this in mind. She's written a lot about it. She's far more knowledgeable on the subject of dietary requirements trekking than I am. So ping her a message, either direct or on the group. I don't know. She's probably going to get 1,000 messages that hate me.
I know, Shona. It is great. I mean, obviously been a big part of the community for a very long time and lovely as well. Rory, what is the flight like to look there, Dave?
I think it's awesome. Depends on your disposition, I guess. If you're frightened of heights and you don't like flying, then you might find it a little bit on the nervous end of the flying spectrum. But I actually really love it. I think it's great. It's a highlight of the trip for me. It sort of bookends your trip going to Everest Base Camp. You have this thrill at the beginning and a thrill at the end. Right to the very last minute, you're going to be thrilled on the Everest Base Camp trip. I love that. I think it's great. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. You feel like Indiana Jones, and then when everyone lands, everyone starts clapping like, "Yay, we're alive!" But it's but it's more than that. Obviously, it's very, very safe now because they're very strict on weather. If you are going to Everest Base Camp, we always say recommend, and I know we're trying to be quick now, but have a couple of days at the end if you want to book extra days. Some people do. You can then, if there's any delays, obviously then you've got a couple of days in hand. If not, you've got more time in Kathmandu, which is awesome.
Yeah, awesome. I got one quick one, and then we'll go cut to the big thing, shall we?
Yeah.
Diane, hi Diane, how's it going? Diamox Dave, is that my nickname? Diamox Dave? No, Diamox. Dave, I know you needed it just the once. Would you have it prescribed to take it with you just in case? Yeah, so I've never needed it on the Everest Base Camp trip, but when I did Kilimanjaro, I decided that the best thing to do to keep myself healthy, happy, and strong on the mountain was to take Diamox. I did have my own supply. I went to a travel clinic and got it prescribed. So I did have my own with me. That's just to ease my own sort of anxieties about not having some. However, I needn't worry because all of our guides, they all carry it. Anything that you need in order to stay safe at high altitude, they have with them. But some people, just so they know where it's come from, it's their own prescription and their name's on the bottle, they really prefer to get it like that. I'm one of them. I have so many pills when I go on these things, I rattle. Everyone comes to me for an ibuprofen and stuff like that. But I would recommend bringing some with you. But if you haven't, if you forgot, you haven't got time and you arrive in Nepal, don't worry. Every guide on every trip that we do will have a stash.
Good stuff. I'm going to do a couple of quickies as well before we do a competition announcement in a couple of minutes. Minimum age, no. So with us, obviously, if you're going on your own, then you do have to be obviously 18 or over. But if we've got people who are under 18. I think we've got a 12-year-old who's going. I think her name's Leah, with her family, raising money for charity. Amazing story. Obviously, we always say it depends on the person's age. Like we're not a no company. We can usually work with you on. If you say, look, I've got a 12-year-old daughter or son who wants to come with us, how would that be okay? And as long as you can get insurance, I remember when I was a 12-year-old, and I think for me when I was 12, it might have been too much for me. But I know there's 12-year-olds out there who are really into hiking, really into it, and they'll be fine on the trek. So it's worth having a conversation. So with minimum age, just get in touch with us. info@evertrek.co.uk, or drop us a message on here on Facebook or on our website on the Messenger app, and we can obviously discuss it and make that happen for you. Another one, which is Phil, are you coming with us? So yeah, with me and Dave, obviously we're part of the Yetis, the company who run these trips, but we don't go on the trips. We are very passionate about using local guides. We don't use any Western leaders on our trip. Only local support, so very experienced. Although we are very experienced in terms of on a trekking and climbing status. The guides, some of them have climbed Everest multiple times, 8,000-meter peaks, trekked to Everest like 300-400 times. I mean, these are the guys you want to go with, and we're on all of our trips in every country we only use local guides. So we're big about that. But yeah, you can see us on some of the training weekends, maybe some events we're at. We usually go to some festivals, Keswick, Mountain Festival, Adventure Travel in London. You can obviously join us on the lives. You can see us here, or maybe we'll catch you in live somewhere. But we're always here to help it happen, because when people book with us, it's not just book and then we won't see you until you go. We obviously, these tune-ins, with other things, we're here to help you get prepared before you go, because we know the difference it makes. If you know everything you need to know before you go there, you're just going to enjoy it so much more instead of worrying about it. So that's where we come in to help you prepare.
I just want to give one shout out to, just following on from what you've said, Rachel Pearson. She took her 11-year-old son to Toubkal recently. I was super excited for that one, because I've been talking to Rachel for a while on email and on the phone and stuff, and then I was getting updates from her guide, and I got to be honest, they said that her son was absolutely smashed it. Did amazing. So they're going to EBC. So yeah, that's great. But there are always options like that, if you want to kind of build up and do a Toubkal weekend or something. But
exactly, good point.
Yeah, and that gives you a little bit of adjustment to the altitude. You know what trekking's about, and then you can go and do bigger and better things, or bigger things, not better. But awesome, Rachel. Well done, and well done to the boy as well.
Yeah.
And I can feel elbows sharp in my ribs.
I know. We've got so many questions. Well, look, there's so many questions today. We're going to have to come back and come in and obviously come through these questions, because we want to make sure that all your questions are answered. Obviously, we've had heaps of people on here now. It's weird because Facebook only shows us who's on at this particular time. I think we've got 240 of you buttes at the moment on here, but obviously we know people drop in and out. So yeah, we know this is a busy one, but it's only right. Obviously, we're here to we're going to announce the winner of Everest Base Camp. So this is for 2 people. So if you do win, you'll be going with obviously yourself and obviously the person of your choice, and that'll be coming on our trip. Now, when it comes to dates, we previous winners, we're always really flexible. We come to that agreement together. So don't think you have to go on this date. We'll obviously sort that out with you. But Dave, I feel like I kind of want to get you involved. Do you want to come in whilst we do the?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, whilst I'm going to be walking in, Rachel's just said an amazing thing that she loved the trip, and it changed her 11-year-old's life, because now he believes everything's possible. I don't know why. I care about every single customer that goes on the trips, but for some reason that one got to me. I'm going to come in. No, I'm good. I just love that. I love the idea of some young little kid steps out there, goes to Morocco, summits a mountain, and now he's like, what next? I love it.
That's what life's about, isn't it?
Should I bring these headphones in and?
Bring them in, because
I'll stay on. I want to come in. Yeah. Okay. So you can just look at my chair for now. There we go. That's good chair, isn't it? Quality.
Right, we're going to so I think it's only right, Dave, that we do this together. If you know what I mean.
Look at that. As if by magic.
Or they're going to get us double now, which is going to be very, very good. So what I'll do, Dave, I'm going to mute you if that's all right, because you'll come through on mine.
Rude.
Here we go. But anyway, obviously we'll be getting in touch with whoever wins. But I feel, because we've written over here, and now our little dog has followed us. There's the winner, Dave. It's amazing, isn't it? Right, so congratulations anyway. If you don't win, we will be dropping people, obviously, a little email afterwards, because there are runner-up prizes, which we do like to give for everyone who joined. But, do obviously wait to see that. But, right, the winner is Dave. Here we go.
So just start a little bit here.
Why not, Dave? Why not? You are shining light. And the winner is... I'll zoom out a bit. What does it say, Dave? Who's that? Tammy Rudd.
Tammy Rudd.
If you're going to Everest Base Camp, So congrats, Tammy Rudd. There's Dave, very excited. Great stuff. Well, Tammy, look, mate, if you're on the live, I didn't see you on the live, but if you are, congratulations, yourself and obviously a mate or family member, whoever is going to Everest Base Camp. So awesome. Just like the other people, hopefully it can change your life, but we hope that, it's going to be an amazing experience. We will certainly get in touch. Okay, yeah, Dave, yeah. We'll finish off. But yeah, so yeah, we hope that we'll definitely get in touch with Tammy. But yeah, guys, I suppose it's been a bit of a nuts one today. So many questions have obviously come in, and we hope you enjoyed it. Dave, are you in earshot? You back?
Yeah, mate, I'm back. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Back. Wow, awesome. Okay, well, look, it's been amazing. So many people on the lives. Look, we hope that you've enjoyed being part of this experience. Obviously, if you haven't won, over the next hour or so, do check your little email inbox. There might be something for you. And obviously, if you're part of the community, this isn't the only live we ever do. We do one every week, every Tuesday, except on birthdays. With this, we're here answering your questions because we want to help you get prepared. Little stories like what Rachel said there about our 11-year-old son. Really, I mean, that's why I started the company, and that's why we do what we do every day, is to help people, affect their lives in a positive way. If we can do that, then fantastic. But right, Dave, final thoughts, mate?
No, honestly, I really love this one. I think having a week off and coming back has really, blew my mind. Every single one of you that's joined us and has, contributed in any way with just a question, a funny comment, whether you've booked, whether you're going, whether it's been helpful. Honestly, it really does make our day. And Andy is right. This is every single day, whether we're on camera or not, we come in and we grind away on this keyboard just to get people like all of you out there, so you can come back and share your experiences, and we can have fun and really, change people's lives. Yeah, and I can't wait. And Tammy, get in touch. I haven't seen your name pop up yet. So
I know. Is Dave crying? No, he's okay. He's all right. He's just about hanging on.
Hang on a minute. So is that? No, they're dry. They're dry.
We're not far away here. I know that Rachel comment really has got to us, I think, hasn't it, Dave?
No, I love it. I love it because I think it was a culmination. I haven't done treks for a while. I was talking to Rachel and her group for a while as well. And then when I called her, she said that not only did her boy love it, that it's changed his life, and now he wants to do even more. And I think to myself, look at that, he's 11, all the world ahead of him. Wow. Do you know what's amazing? It's all happening at once. I'm getting pictures from Anuj now of Evertrekkers in the high Himalaya.
Oh man, because these are our first at base camp since.
Right, I'm gonna even do a little sneak preview of what I get.
Let's have a little look, Dave.
So look, these are the pictures that I get. You see,
haven't seen them yet.
Look awesome. At those skies. Seriously, that's
Everest in the background there.
Yep. So
these are three passes, guys. Yeah, that's Gokyo Lake behind.
Yeah, so that's Everest there.
Amazing.
It looks smaller than this one, but it's further away. You've all seen Father Ted, right? But yeah,
amazing. Awesome. Quick left. What other pictures? Dave, I want to see the other ones.
Oh yeah, there's more. Yeah, sorry. So what we'll do?
I know. Yeah. Leave me expect. I'm like, whoa. We're gonna see these at the same time.
I got to be careful here because I got to make sure. Oh no, they're just other ones that he's sent the other day. Yes, we've already posted these, but yeah, you guys can see them. Yeah, these come through. Look at that.
Look at them, guys.
Here's Amada Blam.
Beautiful.
So this
November.
is on the Day.
Clear skies, amazing.
Look at that. That's Amada Blam again.
They're good photos, aren't they?
Yeah, quite. And here's the main man himself. There's Anuj.
He's ahead of us over in Canada.
Aloft, Bri. You'll remember that. We actually spoke to the manager of Aloft, and believe it or not, Brian, she remembered you. They're still struggling to restock the bar.
Brilliant. Well, look, I think that's amazing, guys. It's been a really special one today. Thanks for being a part of it, and we'll literally see you next Tuesday.
Yep. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Guys.